how desperate is Rings of Power when they're going to try and convince us that one of the greatest heroes from Lord of the Rings is not as good as their hero?
God. Blank of Wood is not as good as Legolas.
Yeah, guy who can't emote his way out of a paper bag.
I would say half the girls in my class at school would have been absolutely furious at that headline.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Legolas. He's a man. He is a hero. I've told the story. Whenever I watch,
he's big dick energy.
Yeah, totally. Whenever I watch Lord of the Rings, the Jackson trilogy, there are moments where I go, hero mode activated, and it's always around Legolas when he just kicks it up a notch and does superhero moments, sliding down the stairs on a shield, climbing up the elephant to pull it on doing all kinds of awesome shit. That's a hero. This guy is not. While Legolas is considered a badass warrior in Lord of the Rings films, Rings of Power just proved elven archer Arondir is even better. Let's explore.
With those edits.
Wait, how though?
Well, they're going to tell us how, Dre. They're going to tell us how.
Got it.
Legolas' most interesting moment came in Two Towers when he was sliding down the steps of Rohan and shooting arrows at maximum speed. Yeah, I call that
That's
hero
not
mode.
her most interesting moment.
It's
Killing
not
an elephant is way cooler than that.
That's still what I called hero mode activated,
right.
but it's not. Yeah. Given Legolas' popularity, it's not surprising the Rings of Power also has an elven archer in its ensemble. Yeah, an idiot is going like this.
Yeah, he's black. He's got a gangster shoot his
He's got
bow.
a gangster hold it. However, in Season 1, Episode 6, Udun demonstrated Arondir is better in the Prime Video series than Legolas was in the films. All right. Arondir was a better fighter than Legolas. Oh, this is going to be brilliant. While Legolas was talented, he also usually had help. What's more, that help often consisted of seasoned soldiers, whether they were elves, human warriors, or the ghost army Aragorn rallied to banish the remnants of Sauron's legion.
So they're saying he had help, so he's not as cool, forgetting the fact that Arondir had to be saved by a florist who's never held a sword before.
I know. Hold on.
He had help because he actually had people that liked him.
Oh, yet he never had the pressure of leading the group. He could focus on only his own contribution to the battle, allowing him to be more daring and commit those acts of bravado. Arondir, however, had to manage a group of unskilled fighters to defend his home from orcs. He rose to the challenge as mentor, teaching them military tactics in the span of a couple of hours, because that's all they had.
Hold on. Didn't he get his cheeks clapped and then have his 5'1" girlfriend stabbed a joint in the neck?
Yes.
That's what I was talking about.
He got his ass kicked by the big sexy orc. They're all drooling over, and these shields all drool over. And then
I'm just making sure I didn't black out. I'm just making sure.
Baby mama had to come save him. Baby mama had to come save him. And while he was able to rescue Theo and his beloved Bronwyn, you have to get that in there, his beloved Bronwyn, in a fashion Legolas would have been proud of. How? He didn't save them. He didn't save anybody. He also infiltrated Adar's base. He didn't infiltrate. He was there. He was there hiding behind a wall when they arrived. And then he shoots one rope hinge, and then kicks a stone. The walls and killed a bunch of creatures. You notice they say bunch of creatures? They have no numbers. No numbers. In the dead of night to slow them down. Before we keep going, I see Algrim the Strong for $99.99. Thank you, good sir. In further support of engaging and enshrining the roundtable rants, hail Lord Knight Grump of the Grantian and Goring Gregariousness. Hail Lord Knight Dre of the brutal and blunting barrages, highest heralding, greatest of the cultural nerd kings. Thank you, Algrim the Strong. Salute, weapons drawn, shields up. And a toast to you too, my friend. Thank you again, Algrim the Strong. We appreciate your support, and we're happy to have you here amongst our ranks because we know we can count on you. Thank you, good sir. And also, Dermy Wormy for $2. The words I want to say aren't allowed on words. Thank you, Dermy. And Dermy will be joining us next week on the roundtable. He will be here next week on the roundtable. And Dre, you missed this because you got here after you said it. I'm giving you guys a whole segment to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. You guys are going to all get to. Jeremy's a big Pokemon guy. I found out last night. I'm giving you guys the promise segment since it's coming out. I didn't know it was coming out, so you guys get to wax poetic all next week. I'm giving you guys that time. So you guys, it'll be something fun. It'll be fun for you guys. All right, so back to this. Arondir had a greater purpose than Legolas.
What the fuck?
I don't
Saving
know.
the world versus a village.
Making sure the One Ring gets to Mount Doom. At first.
Hang on, I'm just going to do a Jericho laugh somewhere.
I know. Oh my God, how clueless. This is a shill response. This is
He
a
wants
true.
to save his bimbo. That's not a greater purpose than saving the world.
He wants to save his baby mama and his bastard son. Kusula, Theo's a bastard child. Yes, the term is appropriate. He is a bastard. And you know, they haven't shown his ears yet. To further
his dad went out for some llamas bread and never came back.
Well, came back later. He's all grown up.
Once he became a super duper athlete with a magic sword.
I like that. That's like, hey, so hey, son, got that contract now, huh? To further complicate things, some of Arondir's allies deserted him. Who deserted him? Bronwyn turned. She made them all leave because she was horrible. Several characters defected to the side of the mysterious Adar during the episode. No, they left because they knew they were all going to die if they stayed there, and then they all died anyway because they got turned into fodder. But Arondir didn't despair or give up. When the first wave of orcs came, he led by example from the front and defeated even more enemies. What he led from the front, he was on a roof shooting arrows in a very horribly planned cage of fire that should have. Oh God, go ahead, Jed.
And he killed 10 orcs in that scene. Legolas got what was it, 57 in the Battle of Helm's Deep, which that's supposed to remind you of?
I'm trying to remember the Gimli line. I myself
the extended
sitting,
edition.
I myself am sitting on 42. I think it's 42.
He was twitching. He was twitching because my axe was in his
embedded in his nervous system. Oh my God. Okay. What was so impressive was how he was willing to lay his life on the line as if they were elves. I don't know. Legolas is laying his life on the line for a bunch of humans at the Battle of Helm's Deep. Oh my God! How out of touch.
What is this?
This is a retard. Who wrote this? Please be Ronaldo. Please be Ronaldo. It is! It's Ronaldo! Yes! Yes! I called it. I didn't even look. I called it. It's Ronaldo, our old friend, soy boy Ronaldo Matadine. Yes, I could tell. Couldn't you tell, Jed? You could tell this was Ronaldo.
Feel the soul in every
word. Could feel that this is classic Ronaldo. Classic Ronaldo. Arondir had a greater purpose and more personal stakes in his battle. Weaker fighters, lesser numbers, led to his crew being overwhelmed and enslaved by orcs. But before that loss, Arondir stared death in the face with a patchwork resistance that the cocky Legolas never had to deal with when he was looking for the One Ring.
Legolas was only ever cocky in the Hobbit movies.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have been in. That's the only time I've ever thought of him as cocky, and that was a lot in the Hobbit, but never in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh my! And they're always facing the worst odds throughout the entire journey.
Yeah, I think the Battle for the Black Gate has way worse odds than those towns.
10,000 against what? 500? Something like that?
10,000 and they knew they were going to die. They said there was no chance of
it's
us
a distraction.
winning. We just can buy him time. That was their
we
only
are a distraction.
We're not going to win.
I don't know.
They knew it.
I think that's kind of more important than saving a village.
Yeah.
You think?
Oh my God. Oh my God. But we're not done with these idiots. More Shield. I mean, we're on Shield BR a lot because they put out the worst articles this week. Rings of Power's greatest armor is plot armor. I hate prequels. I hate them. It feeds this kind of stupid.
You've got to have a damn good writer to do a prequel and make it interesting.
Yeah.
And they
really
just
not
ain't got those no more.
Really
those
shouldn't have much
those
to do
riders
with known
are
characters.
not available at this time. So
Mhm.
you're gonna have to deal with garbage.
You know what the answer is? The answer is you don't do a prequel.
Well,
That's
that
the answer. You don't do a prequel
Well,
unless
I don't know if they could do anything good to begin with,
unless
prequel or not.
unless somebody says I want to see this snapshot moment of the history you've talked about. Unless your fans say, "Give me this," and then it's not plot armor. You're just giving the history moment. You're bringing that historical moment to life. Other than that, don't try to tell a massive story because it's inevitably going to fail. Because prequels have no stakes because you know where everybody's going. I've said that before. I'm always going to say it. Plot armor is a common term used to describe the occurrence of main characters escaping impossible situations without injury of any kind. The Mandalorian using Beskar to protect Din Djarin from everything is a perfect example of this. How that's not plot armor. That's just bad writing and overusing a Star Wars idea. Okay, so the Rings of Power made liberal use of plot armor, but it's not entirely the series' fault.
Nothing is their fault.
No, of course not.
they
Now
wrote
this is the excuse for last week's
Of course
Pyroclastic
it's
Flame. It's the excuse. You gonna say something, Jerry?
Yeah, I've said, how is it not the series' fault when they wrote it?
Because it's excuses. Excuses.
Oh, I actually heard the best explanation for why everyone survives the pyroclastic flow.
Oh,
And we've kind of mentioned it before.
okay. What is it?
When evil's around, heat doesn't come off.
What?
In the first episode, they went to this scary evil place, and their torches weren't hot, and so they're like, "Yeah, fire cannot burn when evil is near." So it's a cold volcanic eruption. It's just a sharp breeze that blew.
Wasn't
through
there
the
a
town.
horse on fire?
Everybody's saying it was the saddle.
Everything was
just the
on
saddle.
fire, pretty much.
Yeah. Now, pyroclastic wave of destruction. You're all dead. But no, when Mount Doom erupted, the Southlands were wiped out. No, only that small area. Because remember, they made it over to the overnight trip back to where they should have been hundreds of miles
100
away.
miles
It's all fine over
overnight.
there. It's all fine there.
I've got a question.
Okay.
The Mount Doom, that whole volcano thing.
Yeah.
There was a reason why they had to put the ring in that, right?
Yes,
Because it could actually be strong enough to destroy it.
Forged.
No,
only
it
what
is
forged it
magical.
could destroy it. Only what forged
Yeah,
it could destroy it. Yeah.
Because
And remember-
he used the.
In the
But
actual
it can't
lore,
destroy.
in the actual
that?
lore, Melkor created Mount Doom. In the actual lore, that was his toy. It was Morgoth's
Right.
toy,
Yeah,
not
But
just there.
It's a magical loophole. I mean, he had to melt down the ore of the ring to make it into a ring shape, and so he had to have that loophole in it so that the material could be put together in the first place. So if it did melted it to make it, it can melt it to unmake it.
So yeah.
So it's really hot. It's just the basic layman term.
Magical
really
hot.
fucking
Yeah, but
yeah,
also
Yeah.
there it is magic.
But she could stand up and take it to the face and just go, Cheetos.
Yep, Cheetos and take it to
Well,
the face.
so
and
did everybody else.
everybody else. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
one character was unharmed, and then she went into a burning building and got some sparks in her eyes and went blind. She didn't go blind from the volcanic eruption. She went blind from some sparks in a building. That was like
Wait,
the main
nobody
injury.
died?
No main characters.
Not from
no-
appropriate injuries. Not from appropriate injuries from this kind of natural disaster. No.
Yeah, like one did die from a collapsing building
No.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't
He
that
was
hot
crushed in-
magma?
That is pyroclastic flame. That is ash and hot fire and lightning death coming your way.
It burns from
It's
1,000 to 1,800 degrees.
Yep.
But
It's as
nobody
hot as
died
a
from that.
blowtorch.
Nobody
So
died
it
of
actually
appropriate death.
melts metal
because
on
there were-
contact.
There were people dead, but they're just covered in ash when you see them in when we start the episode. No, but nobody
Right.
died appropriate death from this.
Yep. Like
There
one
were-
dude just lost his leg. At the
Yeah, there's a
medical
missing
tent there.
limb.
Like,
Somebody.
how would you lose your leg to this?
Yeah, it doesn't make
That's one of the problems I had with that scene on the second Jurassic World film when the volcano was exploding, and you suddenly have Chris Pratt running, or jumping into the water, and he's just been inside all that volcanic ash and everything else, and thinking, how is he still alive?
Yeah, and that was me.
Yeah, that heat would extend well
okay.
in front of the cloud. It's going to be
Mhm.
pushing the heat out.
Yeah, that's what I
But
thought.
don't worry, Dragon Lady. Nobody saw that movie.
I did,
Here-
but
here's-
then again, I'm a dinosaur nut, so.
But here's
That's
the
my
defense of this.
excuse.
So obviously these characters weren't going to be killed because they're not allowed to kill them because that breaks Tolkien's overall rules for this.
Well, it
Using
doesn't
stuff.
stop them from baiting that is sealed or die
Yeah.
this entire episode.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, he got crushed by a building. It's like,
But they weren't
no.
even injured. Galadriel took the full brunt of the fires of Mordor head first, yet there isn't a burn or scratch on her. The same can be said for Elendil, who dove back into the fire to save people. Even if the characters can't die, having to be injured or burned would create higher stakes and make the world feel more dangerous. Isildur was the only character who was in any danger, and they, again, like Judge just said, they show his death because we know he's not going to die. We know when and how he dies. But he can't be dead. While the Rings of Power has made some small changes.
Oh boy.
Killing Isildur now makes the rest of the Lord of the Rings story
Small as the
impossible.
Hulk's dick. That's how small the changes
This
are.
can make his death feel a little cheap and meaningless, like it was added for shock value, but there is no shock. The Rings of Power is amazing despite plot armor. Here's what I was waiting for.
Wow.
Plot armor can be frustrating and lower sense of danger, but it doesn't mean the series isn't great. Rings of Power is a stunning series that has created a beautiful representation of Tolkien's work. I'm still looking for it. The show is developing new and old characters in a fantastic way while building a compelling story around them. Again, I'm waiting for it. Seeing places like Mount Doom get created small changes to the lore. Mount Doom created. Matt just reconfirmed what I said. Yeah, Morgoth created it. Yeah, created is a brilliant and makes the series even more special. The plot armor can reduce certain moments of the series, but it can't take away from the Rings of Power has already accomplished. You mean accomplished being a disaster and horrible?
With no likable characters.
So it's just this. Yeah,
the
nothing.
only character that people like is the bad guy, Adar.
Yeah. Now you notice here, this is their. The article ends right here. Look, it's over. That's it. This is their defense.
Oh, Shilby does this all the time, make big bold claims and not explain it
Nothing.
whatsoever. Like
No,
I just did
no.
an article about
Yeah.
how Jodie Whittaker made the series better, and it's just like it changed.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therentnerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.